Y'all already know what it is. Salute to all my generals, all my lions and men. Let's get into it. C74, adolescents at war. At this time, I believe I'm in 4 main house of pain. Adolescents, please do not let this get misconstrued. Whenever you hear anything about Rikers Island, C74 was the worst building in Rikers Island. It was worse than any building you was ever in. It was worse than 95. It was worse than HDM. It was worse than the 3. But it was the worst building till this day. Why? Because you got a bunch of young lions and everybody trying to let their nuts hang. That's why. They young, they lost. Some dudes is young bosses. Some dudes is young crash dummies. Some dudes is just muscle. And it's wild and it's crazy. So, C74 Rikers Island. The story I'm about to takes place exactly coming off of the it's 2-1. Let's get into it. It's a war going on. Outside, no man is safe from you. That's a fact. To quote one of the greatest rap groups, MOBDEPP, definitely was it was definitely a war no one was safe from. And this was taking place behind the wall, or behind the fence, however you want to put it, because Rikers Island is technically a county jail. Let's get into it. It's drama with all types of people. Not just the Bloods, it's just drama all over the place, because it was like, sometimes it just depended on your skin complexion and how you looked at me or how you looked at somebody, or somebody just lied. Some dudes will lie, some dudes will say the truth, like, yo, you was over here dick riding these dudes, you getting got. You was over here dick riding these dudes, you was getting got. So you was affiliated by association, you was getting done dirty. And it was just the way it was on both sides of the aisle. Like, people was just getting labeled that wasn't even technically about that life, and that's a lot of the dudes they got done dirty. So peep game, right? So the adolescents at the time, it was mandatory that you had to go to school. No matter what, you had to go to school. Eventually, certain houses was got away from that, because it was just, they couldn't control. One story that I'm about to tell you as an example of why they changed or stopped at the time. Adolescents in certain housing units going to the school floor. Now, everybody that was in 4 main had a fucking target on their back. Because anybody knows that 4 main was a Spanish house, king house, get that house. It was always a Spanish house, period. So, something popped off in that house, right? In our house in 4 main, that's another story I get into. Some dudes got in there, they got a little comfortable. They had like 2 or 3 and they felt that was enough. And they tried to make a movie. And they ended up getting packed up, getting out the crib, getting done dirty. So they tried to like take the house, but it backfired on them. And the only thing that happened is that, yeah, they made it hot, but they got done dirty and they ended up leaving the house. But they went somewhere to where they was more comfortable at, because that house, see, dudes would come and be quiet, be humble, play possum. But then the minute that they get certain dudes around them, they start trying to make moves, which is at the same time, depending on how you do it, I consider playing chess. You pick your battles, man. You don't just jump out the window without a parachute. So, peep game. Shit popped off, so a situation that popped off in the floor. When we go to the school floor, like the very next day, we have to go to school. So they let us go out to school. So salute the green eyes. So the CO, I forget his name, big dude, he was slapping everybody in the 4 building. I don't give a fuck if he was blood. I don't care who you was. He was putting mittens and paws on every one of y'all. I know. I seen it. I seen Big Dog, I seen Sherm get bitch slapped by him. Sherm the Worm got dog slapped by this nigga. It wasn't like Sherm wasn't trying to fight. He was little as hell. This dude was a fucking straight bully. He was a bully, CO dude that used to bully all the ones that thought they was tough, and he knew we was young and little, and he used to manhandle dudes. I ain't even gonna lie. He put hands on me before. He put hands on, I done seen him put hands. He didn't care. That's the only thing that I can say I can respect about that dude, is that he didn't care. He didn't discriminate. Black or white, Spanish, brown. Once he put them gloves on, dog, got problems, man. So anyway, he knows how the adolescents give it up. So the way that CEO moves on his school floor was like, listen, I ain't tolerating none of that on the floor. Y'all gonna regret it. A lot of times, you know, it helped a little bit, but it wasn't enough. You know, we was too wild. So what happens is, one of the dudes that popped off in that house, they wanted to shoot 5 with one of the dudes in my house, this nigga Green Eyes. So the dude from that house, the dude that got packed up that was in that house, one of the dudes that tried to make a movie, now he's in the school floor, and basically they trying to get them to shoot 5. So my son Green Eyes, to his credit, was like, let's go, let's get it. Unfortunately, the dude got the best of Green Eyes, and Green Eyes got him up. You know what I mean? He took his cookies, but he rocked with it. You know what I mean? Dude got the best of him, and Green Eyes held it down. The dude was bigger than Green Eyes too, but Green Eyes had hard enough to get in there and shoot the 5 when he shot the 5. Took an L. But now, you know, when shit like that happens, a lot of us, it's hard for us to accept it when that's one of our peoples, because he was like one of the dudes that was with us running the house. So now it's like, yo, we respect it. But at the same time, it's like, in the back of our minds, we like, nah, this nigga gonna get it, or one of these dudes that he fuck with, somebody gotta get it. It's like we always gotta do a tit for tat type situation. So you may have got the best of my man right now, alright, but now we still on the school floor, right? So a lot of us get mixed up depending on how good you can read and write. That's what class they put you in. So me and this nigga Freeze, we end up in one of the in the same class with the dude that beat the brakes off of the nigga Green Eyes. And the teacher in that class, I ain't gonna say was all bitch, but she was like, yeah, she was all bitch. I ain't even gonna lie. She was definitely, I don't even know if she's still working in corrections, so I don't wanna throw her under the bus. So I'm not gonna say her name, because she may still possibly be working in corrections. I don't even know. But I know that she was the math teacher, and she was there for a minute, but she was Spanish. She was Puerto Rican, and she used to always lean towards Spanish. So, and she knew me, she knew Freeze, she knew us. So Freeze was like, yo, what up? We gonna do this, nigga? I'm like, yo, I'm thinking about the CO. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm like, yo, we got this big bozo nigga outside. Freeze was like, yo, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? When they hit the bell and it's time to get out, that's when we make a move, you know what I mean? And that's it. This bitch ain't gonna say nothing. She ain't gonna say nothing. Why she ain't gonna say nothing? So, sure enough, it was like, fuck it. That was all the battery I needed. I'm like, let's get it. Sure enough, we make a move on the dude. Like, we in the school floor, in our class, walking around, acting like some of us is actually doing work. Nobody really is, though. No, dudes wasn't doing work in there, bro. Like, you had a hand, like, maybe like 1 or 2 people was actually even reading a book. I felt bad for all those teachers in C74 adolescents. Like, it must have been hard for them to really get somebody to get a GED during my era, because, woo, child, we wasn't listening to nothing. So what happens? It's time to get out, leave, either switch classes, because we switch classes too, go to math, reading, whatever. Almost like they used to try to keep it almost like a high school. You know, you got to go to different classes, or sometimes the teachers are just substitute and come in and out the classes. So we going out the class, and we pop on a dude. While we pop on the dude, to our benefit, it was like some other dudes that was scheming on somebody else, which was crazy weird, because I thought dudes was trying to, like, they was defending this dude, but they wasn't. They was just scheming on somebody else. So it was like we popped off on dude. They just finished fighting with Green Eyes. And as we popping off on him, you know, now other dudes is coming out of classes. See, this is when the confusion comes, and it's hard to like pinpoint everything, right? And mind you, keep in mind, there's no cameras all over the place. There's no cameras at all, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think. There was cameras, but only like a certain, it wasn't like the way it is now, trust me. So, we pop off, and there was definitely no cameras in the classroom. That's a fact. So we pop off, shit pop off. Other dudes is coming from other classes going into our class just to look, to be nosy. They seeing certain dudes is getting involved in shit. The other dudes was trying to rob somebody for some sneakers or something. And when we popped off on dude, they took advantage of that situation and made they move. So now it ends up turning into a little mini riot. Like dudes is like just moving around now, and they popping. Like they thinking that it's like us against them, the Kings versus Bloods. But it was just happening. It happened and it played out the way that it played out, just because of unforeseen circumstances. Like I didn't think that any of this shit was. I just thought we was gonna pop on this dude, get it in on this nigga. We end up going to the box or whatever happens. But instead, we pop on this dude. Somebody else pops. Other people start coming in our class. We trying to get out the class now. And the one thing about that CO dude, what's his name? I forget his name. He was one of them COs that didn't like to pull the pin, because if you had to pull the pin, he had to do paperwork. So he was literally like grabbing dudes and tossing little niggas like slack. Yeah, he was really one of them type of dudes that try to get control of the situation till he realized he can't. The motherfucker got control of the situation, bro. One CO. Plus it was some other, they got other COs on there. They mean start acting like it was just him. But he was the main one. I believe it's like 3 COs on the floor, maybe 2, plus the teachers. The minute he started coming through and bitch slapping dudes, grabbing dudes, tossing dudes, let me just keep this shit in perspective. This man was like 6'3", 6'4", 265. He was a big dude, bro. Probably bigger than that. He was stocky as fuck. So it was easy for him to grab somebody that was like 130 pounds and just toss you, bro. You could be live as you want. Get the fuck out of here. Bang, bang. So he got shit under control, right? Check this out. He's lining everybody up now. Now they're trying to get things organized. Know what I'm saying? I don't recall somebody got chopped up or not. I don't recall how many dudes was injured. All I know was that we fucked up the dude that popped off, that they fucked up Green Eyes. And shit just jumped off. It was a chain reaction to things that happened after that. Now they lining all of us up and they trying to get us the fuck up out of there, right? The school floor is connected to the dance floor. The dance floor, for those of y'all that don't know or never been in prison, is the visiting floor. That's what we call the visiting floor is the dance floor. Yo, you going dancing? You know what I'm saying? That's what we mean when we say that, because it's like you going out. You leaving your cell. You getting some type of one-on-one communication contact, physical contact with somebody that's coming to visit you. So peep it. The dance floor is right across from the school floor. So now as we getting escorted out of the school floor, now we got to go down the staircases. The staircases is just like damn near any other typical project, bro, literally. But it's only one flight and a half. You got to go down and then bounce. So almost like 2 flights, right? Peep game. They got dudes coming up at the same time. They did a failure of communication. They got dudes, adults, coming up for visits, as all of the adolescents from my house is coming down. So they make them stop at the bottom. Like the CO that's escorting the visitors, he realizes what's going on, and he sees all of us coming down the staircase as they was going up. So he's like, yo, hold up. So he got these dudes held up. They stop, but they stop the adults on some arrogant shit on the steps. Like, yo, come on, I'm trying to go on my visit. They beefing. We keep coming down and we stop too. We can't come out onto the corridor until, they tell us to go out. And people, all of this happens literally in what? That was like half a day. That wasn't even a whole day. I don't even think I went to lunch yet, bro. This is in the morning time. This popped off on the school floor. Now we on our way out. On our way out, getting escorted out. They're trying to get things, in order. Escort us all back to the block. But at the same time, they got a visit escort coming in with some visitors. And they got to go in through the same way, the same entrance. There's only one entrance. You going in the 4 building, going to the visit. It's only one way up. It's only one way down. You feel me? Same thing if you go to the school floor. Same entrance. So this is what happened. Dudes that's coming up, that's going on visits, they're adults. We don't know them. These dudes is black. None of us know them. And they holding. It was like 2 or 3 of them that was holding. One dude though had the big dookie shit on his neck. The worst thing that ever happened to him, bro, is that they had him lined up with us as we was leaving. Woo. All it took was one of us to start sending the word. All you hearing is through the word, yo, we about to get these niggas, boom, boom, about to get these niggas. Before anybody knew what was happening, all them, it was like maybe like 3 of them, 4 of them that was like halfway in on the steps that was still there, talking shit to the CO, screaming. They screaming to the CO, yo, fuck that, we ain't going nowhere, we want to come up. They telling the COs, that's what was going on. These dudes just arguing with the COs at the top, talking about, nah, we coming up to our visit. They talking about, nah, come down, let the adolescents out. They arguing the CO can't control the dudes that he's escorting because the adults is on same bullshit. Like, yo, fuck that, now I want to go on my visit, I want to go on my visit. Fuck these little niggas, all that other shit. So, fuck all these little niggas, right? Yo, CO. Yo, beat the brakes off of them, right? It was chaos because now this was our whole house now, though. So, this is the whole 4 main. It's stuck on that motherfucking stairs. The whole 4 main, bro. And that little tight ass stairway. It's 4 main all the way up to the top. Y'all know how this shit goes. We popped right there. Did them dirty, filthy. Look at how much dudes is savages. All 3 of them got yapped. All 3 chains got boofed. 2 medallions got boofed. 1 medallion was on the floor. Dudes was savages. Y'all don't know what boof means? Dudes was stuffing chains up their ass. It's crazy the mindset that you have. But it was going up your anal cavity if you wanted to keep that chain. The dudes that we did dirty wasn't even on Bloods. There was 5%ers, and one of them was like a real known 5%er. Like he was, I forget his name, so I ain't gonna start. Only thing I could do is describe him, which I could do. He had a blast on his face. He was short, stocky, and bald-headed. And he had frames, like regular type of frames, bald-headed. And he had a nice little Cuban on or figure, I forget what type of chains it was. The other 2 dudes that was with him, I don't remember if they was blood or not, to be honest. But I remember that they all got yapped. And that main dude, the bald-headed dude, he was mad as fuck. He's like, y'all little motherfuckers. Like after they had to hit the pin at this point now. So the boys is coming out. Now they strapping up and they coming and they throwing us all up on the wall. They had to call the squad. So I'm not sure if it was ESU or just the squad. I think it was the squad. So the squad come and they just start getting things under control. The adults still was wilding that. It was on their way to visits, bro. Got robbed. Probably, I don't even know if they got on their visiting floor, you heard, and got beat up. All this shit happened. And not even a half a day. I want to say like in a couple of hours, we went from a whole riot on the school floor to getting escorted, a mini riot, not really a riot. But those was getting washed up. Tensions was moving high, I mean. And those was trying to take advantage of shit whenever there was a commotion. You know what I'm saying? So whenever there was a commotion, somebody had a little beef, dudes pop. Police got it under control for the most part. Start escorting us down as we're leaving to go into the corridor. Is those coming up, police get confused because they're not supposed to do that. It's one at a time. You feel me? That was all it took. Dude just grimy. All we saw was jury. We was yapping everything. It was not one adult that was coming to the 4 building with a chain on. I didn't give a fuck if you was blood, you was crip, you was king. If you was, and you was shining, you already knew what it was. And you was always on point. You know what I'm saying? You was always on point. It was some dudes that wasn't. It was a lot of dudes that was lacking. Some dudes was feeling themselves a little bit too much. And them dudes was one of them. And they got done dirty. And you know what's the crazy shit? And I'm gonna end it on this note. These dudes, these 5%ers, that same day, because at this time we were still going to the mess hall, that same day, so we on our way to get chow. You know, this all happened in the morning time. Morning visit, whatever it was the visit, it must have been a morning visit, right? Now it's evening time, early evening time, going to chow. Get into the mess hall, we sitting in the mess hall. White House comes in, the same house with that same dude. And he held weight because all you saw was all these grown ass adults just grilling the shit out of our house and asking, yo, what house is that? What house is that? Because they knew it was 4 men. They knew it was 4 men that made the movie. It was knew that it was dudes and 4 men. So, peep game. I ain't gonna lie. Motherfucker have balls. Eventually, when they get in and they come in with their trays, we all on point. We like, yo, now the chains, ain't nobody wearing yet. We're not stupid. We got the shines. Them shits is already getting cleaned up. Know what I mean? Niggas using the toothpaste and the towel, wiping it up, putting a little dental floss on the back. So, know what I mean? Because the locks is popped, obviously. So, know what I mean? You got to put some string on that. Some dental floss on that. This is when they still was selling dental floss. They stopped selling dental floss eventually, too. But you always got to have something on that. Because it's, the chains is popped. All the, like, so. But that's in the product. Like, that's in the blocks. Good. Ain't nobody wearing none of that. But dude comes, they sit down, and they start walking right over to us. Like 3 or 4 of them. These dudes is adults. We kids, bro. We was all like, shit, at that time, I literally know I was 16. I was literally 16. So these dudes is like in their 30s, dude. Like, these dudes was grown-ass men. I'm not talking about no little kids they got done dirty. I'm talking about some grown-ass men that I guess was holding weight because they had dudes moving in the way that they moved, that they came right to our table. No cap. The funny shit, though, was the dudes that they went to, because he's like, yo, I recognize that face and that face, was dudes that didn't have nothing to do with it. So it's like, I didn't know if he did that on purpose. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. He probably didn't because shit happened. He probably didn't know exactly who did it to him. But it wasn't that guy that you went to. I promise you that. And at the end of the day, the ones that we was just waiting for him to come at, or them to come to, was me, my son Freeze, the bro Mo, the bro Animal, and the bro Satana. Now, this Satana that I'm talking about is not the same Satana. Actually, his name was Satan, King Satan. So it wasn't Satana. He was literally going by King Satan. So it was Satan. So it was me, Mo, Freeze, Satan. Green Eyes was still there. And I forget who else. So now, and you had my son Lou from Brooklyn. T, my son T-Mac. They all coming back. They all coming back, you heard? So anyway, they didn't press none of us. They ain't come to the ones that was running the house. Well, they went to like a group of dudes that was like the bunch of the day room dummies, and they was like, yo, what the fuck, who the fuck killed my channel? He was trying to, I don't know. And niggas was like, what are you talking about? I ain't had nothing to do with that. I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me. I ain't do nothing. Like, motherfuckers was sitting down. Niggas didn't even stand up. And they was around the table, and they was talking their little shit. They was talking their little shit, and they did their little rounds around the table. Now, mind you, everybody sitting down eating. The CO see this, and they're not even stopping it. And these dudes is walking around our table talking shit like, yo, y'all little motherfuckers think y'all tough. I know I see anybody with blah, blah. I see that chain this. I see the medallion that. That's your day. Talking all that tough shit. They did their little circle around the table. We eating. We looking. And then they kept it moving. And we stood quiet because he ain't come to none of us directly. He ain't come to none of us directly. He made a whole little bullshit PG-13 movie, not even a PG movie. And the COs, though, was rocking with them because they ain't even come to stop. Even our steadies, I don't know where them niggas was at because this nigga was patrolling around our table talking shit. Now, if he would have made a move on one of the runs that was there, that would have acted or reacted differently, it would have been a whole different situation, you feel me? LIONS&MEN, y'all already know what it is. Nothing but smoke, real talk. That's C74 Adolescents at War. That was like 3 different situations just in one day. I don't even remember what happened that night. I don't know if something happened that same night. Maybe not. But after that, that's nothing, twins. That's nothing. That's just 3 dudes. They got yapped. My bro got it on with some dude. He ended up taking the L. We ended up popping on the dude that beat him up. So he ended up fucking taking the L also because we did him dirty. And then at the end of the day, we all came back with jury. That was the crazy shit. We came back with jury. Like we all had chains on now. From these fucking dudes that we robbed. Facts. That's how crazy it was in Rikers Island C74. Any given day, any given moment, a whole bunch of shit can happen back to back to back to back. That's a fact. Y'all already know what it is. LIONS&MEN. Holla at your twin.